Hey guys, welcome back to Red Dave's Garage. Sorry I've been off the grid here for a while. I got pretty sick, got influenza A and B at different times, so I've been just down. I'm going to update you on what we've been doing on the Volkswagen bus for all you guys have been following. Okay, so here we are. You can see a pretty massive difference. We did the front end. It's all lowered. As you can see, obviously the rear is all jacked up. I'd love to leave it like that, but I'm not going to. I got rear drop springs and plates for the rear, so that will bring that down. And then as well as you can see, we had to do new fenders, floor pan, front end. All this is rusted out on the inside in the inner rocker panels on both sides. So we just got this side done for now. That's all removed, welded in, and I got to finish welding the second plate and then the cover plate, and then I can finish all this metal work, because this all depends, all this metal here depends on this being done first. So got to do all that still. Got the new wheels in, so you can see old wheel, no lip, new wheel, super deep dish, a lot lower profile tire. Have to do that because when you lower on it on the bus, if you use that wheel, you will hit your fender wells and you will rub when you turn. So you got to go with a super low profile or bag it, which the funds are not available to have this thing bagged. So we just did a custom front short 4-inch shortened beam and completely adjustable for lowering. So also more metal work. As you can see, our inner fender wells here behind were completely rusted out, as well as this channel. You can see it all running in, rusted out. And the plate is, I don't know if you can actually see it. There's the plates to replace it. So I gotta finish welding that in. My lower B-pillars, gone. B-pillar, completely gone. Gotta weld in new B-pillars. Luckily though, the jack points were all like super great condition. So that saved a lot of time. What else about this thing? You can see, haven't dealt with the inner suspension yet, as well as this frame's got to be blasted from underneath and recoated. But once I pull all this suspension apart, I'll remove all that, clean all that up. New rear corners, those were trashed and not working super great. This, I'll show you how this is done. I haven't finished welding here, but what I did is flanged this original piece so that this is completely flat. That way a body guy isn't trying to have to work a huge panel to make this all blend in. It should just be able to blend. Oh, that's actually creased here too. I forgot about that. Well, this thing's got so much body work, I don't even want to talk about it. Luckily, I'm not the one doing it. So, same thing with the other corner. You can see all welded in, spot welded like the factory. Well, the factory was a whole panel, but if the factory would replace it. New pan is in. I got some minor, this is not welded at all in here, so I got to cut this section, small section of it, and weld in a new fender well, as well as deal with this right here. This is just, it's actually just surface rust, which is great, but I got to remove the heater ducting, and all that suspension's getting yanked out, so I can blast all this in here, and then repowder coating the suspension and all that good stuff. But first things first, I gotta do the metal work before I even touch that stuff. You see, they don't make these panels, unfortunately, for the 68 to 69 bus. They make them from 70 on, and the reason they don't work is because the lights are different on the 69 bus, so that doesn't work. Gonna have to repair this, obviously. What else did we do? We got, almost looks like I'm tubbing it, but I'm not. You can see here I had to put in this new upper engine sill, and this was trashed, completely rusted out. The hinge on the inside here was gone. It was like tore clear out to here, so this panel I just had to go. And you can see I got this from Just Campers. They make great parts. I've been getting a lot of the parts from Classy Fab, Just Campers, VW Heritage, Allen, Schofield. I bought some parts from the bus depot, I'm not recommending them. It's just, the quality is very poor there. So I would, if you can, just spend the extra money. Okay, moving on to the side. The door, we sectioned out. This was completely trashed. It was dented beyond repair. You can't even fix it. So we did the same thing, flanged, spot welded, and then rolled the edges and sealed those. So that door is actually really good right now. It needs very minimal body work other than dealing with grinding and some poly to finish that. I got this whole rear quarter to do still. You see rusted out. I gotta do just like the other side and cut that whole section out so that can be repaired. The sills, this is just insane. You see this, I got replacement sills here, window sills, so I gotta cut all that out, weld in new sills. But I mean, it's kind of overwhelming. It wasn't supposed to be like this, but here we are. New floor pan, that's just resting in there for right now because I have to do the inner wells and sill the rocker panels, which then allows me to go ahead and put in my fenders, which those are just sitting on. I can weld those in, and then the floor pan sits on top of all of that and gets welded in. So the floor pan is kind of like the last thing that will be going in. So you have to like work backwards, okay, on these buses. You can't just, you can, but it's not recommended with all this rust. You have to almost work from the back and forward. It's like how it was assembled that way. So then you have to deassemble it, but you get the point. But anyways, so that's kind of where I'm at with this thing. I'll show you how bad the rust is, just so you guys get an idea. See in there, completely rusted out, and that's why that's all cut out. And I got all new panels to replace it. So lots and lots and lots of work. The front end. Whoop. Luckily, the front end's pretty much done. I got a whole new panel from Classy Fab. Got my buckets in. That's all welded in and lined up. I still need to do welds on the lower valance and then trim that valance because it was actually the valance that I got, again, Bus Depot, was larger on one side than the other, which is stupid. But luckily, I'll trim that and then throw the bumper on, and that'll be fine. But the Classy Fab parts are like awesome, and I highly recommend them because they're thicker, they are better quality, and they fit like they should. So anyways, that's pretty much where we're at, guys. Step back so you can get a look at it. And then this showed up. What? Here's my engine. You can see I got the Benko transmission, vintage vibe exhaust. That's all the rest of the exhaust parts. Earl oil cooler. This is a 2110 that's decked out, putting out 160 horsepower and close to 190 some pounds of torque. So in that bus, it's gonna romp. Although it's a camper bus, so there's gonna be a lot of things in it that weigh it down. So it'll move like a modern, well, wouldn't say like a modern car, but it'll keep up to speed. Let's put it that way. And it'll be a heck of a fun to drive. So that's it. Right now, I'm just organizing everything and going through my parts, and I'm going to get back to work on this thing, and I'll update you guys as we go. Sorry again for not being around, just super sick. So I'll keep videos coming to you.